I was gonna go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole,
We
but
can do that.
I mean, I am curious which ones you're talking about, because one of the things that I have been so disheartened by lately is we've always been, North America in particular, we've always been kind of what you talked about, the kick against the pricks type people, right? We're not going to just fall in line just to fall in line, right? Like we always had, like, even whether it was for the good or the bad, it didn't matter, right? We had the 60s with a lot of the hippie movement of, war, what is it good? I was literally singing that today. Yeah. War, what is it good for?
Yeah.
Exactly. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. Right. And I'm thinking like we've got this whole thing with Ukraine and Russia. And then like we've got all these people, like COVID was a great example of just don't question anything, just follow. And I was like, I want to learn. I love Joe Rogan and I obviously don't agree fully with everything he says, but I do love that idea of do some reading, do some digging. Yeah. Like, there's going to be misinformation. And honestly, sometimes the misinformation is kind of valuable because it helps you to understand what someone else is going to think or someone else is going to quote, and you can actually use that as leverage in your discussion, right? Yeah. Anyway, I've been very disheartened that there's so many people who are just kind of like blindly following lately. So I am curious with the conspiracy theory side, what you're thinking, what you were talking about.
I mean, I have a whole lot of them. I mean, I'm definitely the one in my family that's like, what do you mean? You guys are just going to go get this done without doing some, what? Do we know the side effects? And they're like, there are no side effects. What do you mean? I'm like, what? It
literally just barely got done, right? Like my
whole thing is like, I just say this, follow the money.
Yep.
And they're like, none of that's true. I'm like, follow the money. Follow the money.
Oh yeah, Hunter Biden's laptop. It was not real.
No, I mean, even just like, down to things that like, I mean, I fully believe in aliens and stuff too, and I always have, because like, how asinine to think that we're the only intelligent life form in all of the galaxies and all of the planets and all of this space and all of the time.
Yeah, I don't know if you're aware, but
that seems
Congress? Well, no, Congress is literally having an actual meeting about UFOs because there's so much unexplained stuff with the Pentagon that they're like, we need to actually discuss this stuff. And
that's what I'm saying. It's like, I've always believed in aliens. And my mom's like, well, there's no aliens in the Bible. And I'm like, well, I mean, there's aliens in each ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. So, but just like things like that, where like nobody really, okay, Cash, you're the crazy one. And then COVID, the CIA releases all of the documents about Area 51. I was like, I told you. I'm like, see, the things that I believe they're not all crazy. Some of them are just like, I can't accept that as truth because that doesn't make any sense in my brain. So I kind of look at it from a different perspective, and they're like, my family loves the mainstream media, and I think that that's okay. It makes them feel safe.
Absolutely.
Not me at all. I'm like, somebody's lying to me.
See, but the thing about it from my perspective is I'm totally fine agreeing with those things, but I will not agree on the first go. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, I just need, like, my wife and I are constantly telling our kids, if your teacher tells you to do something, it's okay to ask why.
Yes.
If your teacher 100%. just says, hey, you need to sit down and be quiet. But why? I'm trying to learn here, right? Like, I want my kids to question. And like, my kid's he got sent to the principal's office in first grade a couple times this year. And I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with that because question question every single thing, everything from everyone. Never trust that everyone cares about you. They don't. Most people don't care about anyone but themselves, right?
Yeah. And they can gain from the other thing too is like, I think that especially like, as when the curriculum started in like I would say probably the 50s, we were all just put in one box and like we're all these academic people.
Such a broken system.
Yeah, now we've learned there's so many different ways of learning. There's so many different neurodivergencies. There's so many personality disorders and differences. And some people are right brain, some people are left brain, some people are creative, some people are academic. Like there's no way that anybody should be put in that one little learning box because, I mean, had I had the opportunity to go to high school from 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 9 p.m. at night, just because I do better in the evening than I do in the morning, and had I had the opportunity to learn with more visual aid, I would have done way better than I did in high school because I'm a visual learner, I'm a phonetic learner, and I do better at nighttime. So I was kind of set up for failure to like never be able to do well in things like math and science because my brain doesn't work that way. And then I'm forced to do it on a time that feels really off on my own personal body clock. So
yep. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I actually like been super privileged, like super lucky recently. Like the last few jobs I had, I took a major like detour from my career path, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So I got my degree in business and marketing, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then I ended up getting into sales, which is soul sucking and miserable, right?
Yeah.
And ended up going off and doing software development, and just took the whole like alternative method, right? Just like the boot camp, and just really quick jumped in. Nitty gritty, just like I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'll pretend like I do. Yeah. And I've had some really awesome managers who are like, hey, as long as you're getting like the work done, like, yeah, you can work in the evening. Cause I was like, dude, like I do not work well. I can work great up until lunchtime. After lunch, I'm pretty much useless until about 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Like in terms of work, I'm great at a lot of things during that time. But when it comes to actually like sitting down and doing software development, I'm useless until about 8 o'clock at night. Yeah. He's like, dude, no problem. Just do that. I was like, wait, really? He's like, yeah, just get it done. He's like, obviously, you know, make sure you have Slack on your phones. We can reach out to you. But yeah, like as long as you're getting the work done and you're putting in the hours, I don't mind how you do it. I just think that especially if you're going to accomplish more, we'd actually be stupid to tell you to not do that.
Right. That's the thing is like some of my best work that I've written has been like, we don't even get together in the studio and write before noon because I'm a dragon in the morning. Like, and I know that about myself. I'm I need to wake up slow in order to be able to have a successful day. And I also like when I play downtown, I don't play any shows before 2 p.m. because I know that it takes me a whole lot longer to warm up as far as vocals go and just even keep the brain on. But you know, I can definitely like start a home project at 8 p.m. at night and be done by midnight. And I would never be able to accomplish that if I did it at 8 in the morning until noon.
Oh yeah. I'm constantly like, I build websites on the side. That's the only time I'm building websites. Yeah. It's from 9 to midnight. As long as I have like a TV show on or a podcast playing, I can sit there and just do creative stuff and just do it. And I could just go 2 in the morning. I'm like, oh crap, I got to get to bed. I got work in the morning.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm absolutely the same way. I'm trying to slowly transition a little bit to a little bit more of a decent bedtime so that I can get up in the morning and do things like, you know, gym and meditation and some yoga and stuff like that.
And be an adult, you know.
Yeah, you know. I don't
no one wants to.
Super well, but we'll try it out for a minute.
Yeah, I've got an amazing wife. She lets me sleep in because I told her, I was like, all right, if you get up with the kids Monday through Thursday, my son doesn't have school on Fridays. Yeah. I will take him to school as long as I can get that extra hour of sleep. And so she's totally on board. I'm like, yes.
Perfect.
Conqueror. And it's like, it's great, but it is like, man, I'm on that same type of schedule as you are though. Like my wife is like, are you not tired? It's 9 o'clock at night. She's usually in bed. I'm like, what? Go. Yeah. Come on. Like, it's just, I'm ready to start a movie at 9 o'clock at night.
I know. When I was living with my parents over COVID, like there was like a rule. When we wake up in the morning, I wake up at about 9. Don't speak to me. Like my mom is like the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed morning person. And I'm like, if I call her Vicky, she knows I'm serious. Cause that's her like, I'm like, Vicky, you're talking too much right now. And she's like, I haven't even taken a sip of my coffee yet. And she's like, okay. And then, but the same thing, she'll look at me at like 8 o'clock at night and be like, shh. No more talking. I'm like, right, you're shut off now. So like learn each other's patterns, right? Like this time frame of like window.
This is the talking window.
hours we can communicate. So,
oh man.
It's respecting that as much for her as she's respecting it for me. Right. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And same with your wife. She's obviously thriving a little bit more in the mornings than you are. And
oh yeah.
So why not use that to your advantage? Because then you can do the late night stuff with the kids too, if you need to. Right. So
yeah, I mean, let's be honest. She's thriving all times of the day better than I am, but moms
are magical. I will give them that.
Genuinely have no clue how they do all that they do.
I'm not one yet at this point, and I'm not entirely sure I have that superpower. It might kick in if I ever decide to have one, but right now I'm just still kind of baffled at how they juggle everything.
I mean, like Friday nights are my wife's girls' nights. So I'm like, you take off, I get off of work, immediately she leaves. I'm like, perfect. I'll take care of the kids. I feed them, give them baths, put them to bed. And that's a 3-hour window. And then Saturday all day is dad and boys time, right? It's like I'm hanging out with my boys, and Sunday, same thing.
Yeah.
And by Monday, I'm like, I need to get to work. I love my kids so much, but I am burnt.
Yeah.
I don't know how she does it 7 days a week.
Yeah. I know. Moms are crazy magical. That's for sure.
Incredible.